1.73 million. This all indicate no doubt in favor in Pakistan, but we feel we have more export potential in overtrade. Pakistani, we are expert in textile, but unfortunate in Qazaqstan, Pakistani export in textile neglected. Excellency, these figures clearly indicate major textile sector I already informed to neglected to export in Qazaqstan. In this content, we must have direct link with Kazakhstan business community and chambers and business association. In order to promote bilateral trade, reliable road link already available, the current roaming via Afghanistan, Tajikistan and Kazakhstan. This solution, Afghanistan has problem, but we hope over national carrier NLC have many working in Afghanistan, Kazakhstan and Turkey route. I have some suggestion and recommendation for increase over bilateral trade in both countries. Regular Zoom meetings with all chambers and trade association with Faisalabad chamber. Ambassador of two countries played very well, must be played positive and productive role for bilateral trade in both countries. As you know, over PTR, as this time is under signing, I will request your effort must be needful for PTR certificate. Collaboration must be organized single country exhibition, and catalog exhibition must be very beneficial for both countries. Signings for MOUs between leading chamber and in both countries also impact. There are some ideas I feel with your excellency, however, being a seasoned ambassador and seasoned diplomat, we will now like to hear your analysis regarding impact of especially Russia-Ukraine war on international economic environment, with the special focus on Pakistan and Kazakhstan business relationship. Lastly, I again very thankful your visit in Faisalabad and Faisalabad Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Thank you very much. All the way Pakistan and Kazakhstan friendship Zindabad.
I request respected Madam Dita Sahibah, President Division Chair of Faisalabad, to please address the House.
Excellency, Assalamu alaikum, and all my dear guests and elected members. Assalamu alaikum, good afternoon. Grateful for giving me meeting time today. I may like to introduce FWCCI with above 200 members from different business sectors of the city, including textiles, fashion garments, beauty parlors, hosiery garments, rice and furniture, and etc. Since I assumed office of President with the FWCCI, my main focus has been on promoting women entrepreneurship to drive economic growth. For this purpose, I have worked on capacity building of women through skill programs. On the other hand, I have motivated women entrepreneurs to venture for export. For this purpose, I held All Pakistan Women Chambers President Conference on 15 November 2021 and recently International Conference on 30th May 2022 at Islamabad, where about 30 foreign mission heads representatives participated. The purpose was to facilitate women entrepreneurs to get export orders from international markets. Excellency, my passion and objective is the foreign direct investment for women entrepreneurs, joint ventures, technology, transfer by backed arrangements be attracted on reciprocal basis. I am already working with various different Central Asian states as Uzbekistan, Azerbaijan, Kyrgyzstan, Italy, UK, Turkey, Afghanistan, Indonesia and Malaysia. I hold B2B meetings with them and some other advanced economies. I have recently back from Azerbaijan, Baku, by leading a delegation of FWCCI women entrepreneurs. We concluded working with Azerbaijan companies for business cooperation and bilateral trade. It has been transpired that our exports to Central Asia republics are heavily taxed. These republics poses high potential for Pakistani exports. All the Central republics are landlocked and main transit route is through Afghanistan. Shipments are thoroughly scrutinized and route to central states. Though it is Pakistan's subject that Afghanistan-Pakistan transit arrangement should be made easier, but may I learn best possible route other than to Afghanistan for trade to central states, mode of payments through best banking channel, shipment duration, border markets, bazaars, preferential tariff for Pakistan if any potential items of import from Pakistan as a Qazaqstan imports 47 billion from world. Pakistan is best in textile products, fourth largest producer of quality rice and other agro products. So that we can have enhanced bilateral trade, I also suggest women's single country exhibition on reciprocal basis, exchange of women entrepreneurs delegation on reciprocal basis. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam. Now I request His Excellency President Mr. Ambassador of the Republic of Kazakhstan to please address the House.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Distinguished members of the Faisal Chamber of Commerce of Industry, my special thanks to President for having me here today, and I would like also to thank Masood Textile for organizing my visit to your beautiful city. You know, actually this is my very first visit to Faisalabad. If you allow me, I will brief you on what has been done in terms of develop our economic cooperation, and then I will share with you some ideas and plans for what we are planning to do by the end of this year. So in November, for the first time last year, we organized business forum, Kazakhstan-Pakistan Business Forum in Kazakhstan in Almaty. We invited about 35 people, business people from Pakistan. This year in May, we held again in Almaty a single country exhibition made in Pakistan 2022. Some people from the textile industry participated in this event as well. So what we see is that we have a number of sectors in which we could develop a mutually beneficial collaboration, including textile industry. Our president instructed our government that we need to develop, for example, our pharmaceutical industry, textile industry, and taking into account the great experience that Pakistan has, taking into account that, you know, your textile industry is one of the leading, if not in the world, but at least in the region. So I believe that our country can learn a lot from you. In this term, I must say that we are planning to organize an online session. So now I'm focused on having a sector-specific events. And I fully agree with Mr. President that we should organize online session. Just today in the morning, I had a phone call with the Ministry of Industry of Kazakhstan, and they expressed willingness to have this online session in order to explore what can be done in terms of developing cooperation, for example, in particular in the textile industry. And I'm pretty sure that we will be able to, inshallah, to develop our cooperation. In general, when it comes to our partnership, I must say that we are also worked very closely with the government of Pakistan. Inshallah, in the next few months, I hope that we will sign the transit trade agreement. This is another very important part of our economic cooperation. This agreement will help us to create a legal framework for boosting our bilateral trade and to enable TIR convention. Another very important part, we want to reactivate our bilateral business council. We should have a kind of universal platform for our business communities to interact. So my final goal is to establish direct interaction between our business communities and to help and to provide you with all the information that you need. So I hope that let's say next week or the week after we will have this online session, and definitely we will be more than glad to invite you all to participate in this seminar to exchange information. As a second step, we are planning to invite a delegation from Faisalabad to visit the southern part of my country, where we develop our industrial sector, textile industry. So in general, I must say that Kazakhstan today is the leading country of Central Asia. In terms of land, we are 9th largest in the world. We are the largest landlocked country in the world. So in this term, I must say that Pakistan can help us in terms of getting access to the warm waters, because our government is aimed at developing and strengthening our export and transit potential. And in this term, I must say that Pakistan, for us, and not only by the way for Kazakhstan, but for the whole Central Asian region, can play a crucial role. Kazakhstan represents, as I said, half of the Central Asian economy. During these 3 last decades, we attracted about $380 billion as foreign direct investments, which represents about 70% of all FDIs attracted to our region. In terms of ease of doing business, in 2020, World Bank ranked our country as the 25th out of 180 countries. So I mean that we managed to establish one of the most friendly and one of the most effective environment for the business people, to develop, their businesses, to develop cooperation, so on and so forth. Also, in our capital, we have Astana International Financial Center, AIFC. It's something similar to DIFC, Dubai International Financial Center. So this platform is operated under the common English law. So if you register, for example, your company or a branch of your company on this platform, so you will be protected as a foreign investor. So in general, I must say that I see a great potential, untapped potential in terms of developing cooperation between our countries. We have a number of issues that we need to address, and my embassy and we are working day and night in terms of resolving these issues. For example, such as direct flights between our countries. I believe it is essential in terms of developing B2B, people-to-people, economic cooperation whatsoever. Without direct flights, I believe it will be extremely difficult. But inshallah, I hope that by the end of this year, we will launch flights between Karachi, Almaty, and Lahore and Nur Sultan. Another very important part is banking channels. So we also work with commercial banks from both sides. From your side, we work with the Bank of Punjab, and from our side, we have a couple of banks who are interested in developing cooperation, and finally in establishing banking channels for our business people to develop cooperation to utilize financial transactions. And another part is visa facilitation regime. And now I'm happy to say that we introduced some new regulations for the business people. So if, for example, your company is willing to visit Kazakhstan, you just have to write a letter on my name, and upon, basing on your letter, on meeting with you, I can instruct my consul to issue visas, and it will take, let's say, three, maximum 5 days. So we are trying to create so-called a friendly environment for our business community to develop cooperation, and I'm pretty sure that we will be able to bring our two brotherly nations closer to each other. This is a very important message for me, because when it comes to cooperation between Kazakhstan and Pakistan, and in general between Central Asia and Pakistan, it is not only about trade. Of course, trade is very important, but for us it's something bigger and deeper. It's about reviving brotherly relations between our nations. Our nations used to cooperate for centuries, but then due to some historical events we lost this connection. Now it's time to reconnect. Now it's time to, as I say, to start a brand new chapter in the history, in the modern history of our bilateral relations. If you have any questions, specific questions, because I'm not an expert in the textile industry, so if you have these questions, please do share with us a list of questions. During this online session that we are planning to organize, we would share this list in advance with our people, with the Ministry of Industry, with companies, textile companies from Kazakhstan, to make them well prepared and to answer your questions. And then we will see. I'm pretty sure that we will be able, I see that there is willingness from both sides to develop cooperation between our countries, including textile industry. People from Masud Textiles, for example, they visited Kazakhstan recently. We organized their talks with our people. In Kazakhstan, we have so far 13 special economic zones. And one of these economic zones is dedicated to developing our textile industry, which is located in the southern part of our country. So our site is ready to develop cooperation, and I hope that this year we celebrate the 75th anniversary, as you say, Jubilee anniversary of the independence of Pakistan, and we wish to the brotherly people of Pakistan prosperity and success and all the best. But unfortunately, due to the flooding that we face here, my sincere condolences with regard to the loss of precious life. But also this year we celebrate the 30th anniversary of establishment diplomatic relations between our countries. So I believe that this year is full of symbolism, and we have finally to bring our relations to a new level. And with your support, with business community, frankly speaking, I am more than 20 years I'm in civil service. But what I see is that business community is much faster, is more efficient, and sometimes for me it is more convenient to work with business people than with my colleagues from the government, because I see that it's in terms of decision-making process, it's much faster, and sometimes it's better to interact and to work with business people. That's why I hope very much that our bilateral business council will be an extremely important platform for developing our cooperation, because one of the main missions for this business council would be to elaborate on practical recommendations for our governments, because you are the people who works on the ground, you are the people who knows the real situation on the ground. So for us, for bureaucrats, it is extremely important to listen to you and to hear from you what kind of hurdles, what kind of problems you are facing. And the main mission of our G2G cooperation, government to government, is to address those challenges, those problems that you face, and to make your lives easier, and to create this, as I said, friendly environment for developing cooperation. Let me stop here. Once again, thank you so much for having me, and I hope that we will develop our fruitful cooperation. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Excellency. Your comprehensive and
It's for you.
detailed
Thank you.
And
for
can
our
you give me
bilateral
yours?
I've run out of my cards, but
Now the
I will
House
share
is
with you
open
my
for question
Oh, I'll
answer
give you.
session.
Can I have them?
I called you in May also.
Sure.
Yes, you were 1 month
Okay.
before, but I think you couldn't come in Sarina, Islamabad.
मेरी एक रिक्वेस्ट है तमाम
And
पार्टिसिपेंट
I
से,
sent
तमाम
a
मेंबर
letter
से
to your
बड़ा
see you
डिटेल से
for
एक्सीलेंसी ने
25th
अपनी
September.
ट्रेड और चीज़ों
Please
के
do
मुताबिक आपको ब्रीफ भी
I
किया
confirmed my
और
participation.
काफ़ी
Yes,
ज़्यादा
20.
मेरे ख्याल से
I
जो
sent it
आपके
to your
क्वेश्चन
office
होंगे
also.
वो उनके आंसर्स आपकी इनकी स्पीच में मिल भी गए होंगे। एक रिक्वेस्ट है कि
Thank you.
काइंडली
Okay,
कोई
thank
अगर
you.
किसी और के क्वेश्चन में आपका आंसर मिल चुका है तो आप उसे पास कर दें ताकि दूसरे का वक्त बच सके और आपके दूसरे मेंबर के
We
लिए
have to
वो
also
क्वेश्चन
develop
का
cooperation
वक्त
between
बच जाए
our business
और
wing.
कोई भी
Yes,
क्वेश्चन
yeah, I
को
know.
रेपिटेशन में
And
आ
there's
जाएगा
that
शॉर्टली
Vietnam,
क्वेश्चन
Mr.
कीजिएगा
He's also
ताकि
called me on
मैक्सिमम
2nd.
लोग
You will
इससे
be there?
फायदा उठा
I will
सकें।
be there.
नाउ टू मिस्टर
Inshallah.
अदर चौधरी।
I went to Azerbaijan.
Thank you very much,
Come.
President. Excellency, you have very well defined that you are not technical person to answer, but you are good enough technical to connect the heart-to-heart connection. I must acknowledge that you have created that.
Thank you.
So let's have questions from our audience to know the real ground situation. So I would request our former executive member, Ms. Toba, for her question first, and then we move on. I have 3 slips. If anyone has slips, so kindly send me for question.
Thank you very much. My name is Bulletin. I'm former president of Faisalabad Chamber of Commerce and Industry and also the former executive member of Technology. I just wanted to comment a little bit about the women entrepreneurship things between Kazakhstan and Pakistan. First of all, I would thank you a lot because you have defined so many things. But the
Okay, thank you for your question. So, with regard to the banking challenge, so I already said that we are planning to arrange cooperation between our banks. The thing is that National Bank of Pakistan, they used to have a branch in Almaty, in Kazakhstan. In fact, they still have this branch. But the problem is that about 3 years ago, upon the recommendation of your government, they made a decision to close down all the branches in Central Asia. And they returned their banking license. Now, to reissue this license, it can take, months, years, ages. So that's why I was recommended by my friends from the banking sector that it is much faster to establish collaboration between 2 banks, to establish the banking channels. So that's what we're working on. With regard to the transportation issues, I must say that nowadays it is much easier to deliver goods, for example, via Afghanistan, thanks to the Taliban. There are some companies, logistics companies, who are delivering goods on regular basis between Kazakhstan and Pakistan. And as they say that now it's much easier and it's more safer to deliver goods. Now what we are working on, as I mentioned, we are working on the transit trade agreement. So this agreement will help us to enable so-called TIR convention. You know this, right? TIR convention. So it will help us to to boost transportation between of goods between our countries. So I hope that by the end of this year we will have some positive news, and definitely as soon as we sign agreements between our banks, commercial banks, and as soon as we've signed this transit trade agreement, definitely we will share this information with the chambers, including your chambers of commerce. Thank you.
Now I would request Dasir from Oxford College. Specific question, direct specific question, please. Я Dasir я ваша страна последний год, и я видел много вашей Астана, Алматы, я был учителем, я был ваша страна очень красивая, и там есть очень хороший воздух, наша страна воздух чистый. И я ходил в Faisalabad
तो प्रॉब्लम है तो क्या नास्के को सामना मेरी मतलब क्या बात है पाकिस्तान को मालूम है न्यूज़ में ये तो जो प्रॉब्लम आ रहा है स्टूडेंट कोई प्रॉब्लम आ रहा है बिजनेसमैन कोई प्रॉब्लम आ रहा है विशेष प्रॉब्लम ಈ ಶೋ ತಾವು ಇವತ್ತಷ್ಟೇ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ ಸರಿ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತಾ ತಾವು sana to just about report on it. But by the time потому что сейчас там как я знаю 3000 студентов там изучают в системе. Еще много студентов изучают в Алматы. Там, не знаете, если там много студентов, если можно построить ресторан, можно ли построить там медицина, то это как будет для диплома и еще самолет, это раньше мы смотрели видео, мы любим даже лайк на сентябрь, но сейчас еще будет не будет.
So with regard to the flights, as I said, we are planning to launch direct flights between our countries. There is one private airline company from Kazakhstan, Skats company, which is willing to operate those flights. The problem is that, for example, our national air carriers, they are not interested in operating those flights, saying that due to the low passengers traffic, it's not, really beneficial. But I always respond that it will never be high unless we start. So in this term, I see that we will be able, inshallah, to boost our cooperation. With regard to the students, we are working on this issue, and I hope that we will be able to resolve this problem. Thank you.
Excuse me, meeting call to order है जी आपसे गुजारिश है जी.
I have requested Mr. Karman. I think your legislative question has already been addressed, but if you have any further specific questions, please ask.
Like coffee?
No, it's okay.
It's
Good, good.
I want to know
Sorry, I cannot hear you well. Could you please? Yes. Thank you.
Logistic company.
So thank you for your question. With regard to the establishing your office in Kazakhstan, I would like to have individual meetings. So if it's possible, when you happen to be in Islamabad, let me know. We will arrange we will set up our meeting. So in general, I must say that it's not a big deal. If you want to establish your branch, it will take a couple of days. As I said, we have Astana International Financial Center. Kazakhstan is a member of the TIR convention, so we can use this TIR convention to deliver goods between our countries. I forgot to mention this very important key, I would say, elements, key points. So Kazakhstan being the 9th largest in the world, at the same time we are only 19 million people, 19. It means that we are less than Karachi. So in this term, I always say that those people who are willing to do business in Kazakhstan, you should not consider Kazakhstan as the final point of destination. Using Kazakhstan, you could use Kazakhstan as a regional hub. Through Kazakhstan, you can easily have access to the Eurasian Economic Union. and the members are Russia, Belarus, Armenia, Kyrgyzstan, and Kazakhstan, 5 countries. You can also easily access Central Asian markets. So, due to this, unfortunately, and I heard this question about the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. To my humble opinion, it's not for years, it's not for years, it's for decades. It seems to me that this conflict that unfortunately we face today, as you see, it influences negatively the situation in the whole world. I'll give you one example. It's well known that Ukraine is one of the leading exporters of wheat, and Pakistan also is a customer of Ukrainian wheat, right? Yeah. So now, due to this conflict, Ukraine cannot execute its obligation under the agreements, under the contract signed, and they cannot deliver Ukrainian wheat to Pakistan. Now, Kazakhstan is in top 10 in the world among wheat exporters, where Kazakhstan is and where Ukraine is. And now we cannot deliver our wheat to Pakistan. For me, it's a shame. I mean that we are the countries of the same region, and at the same time, unfortunately, we cannot deliver our goods. So that's why we should be focused very much on delivery, on developing our regional infrastructure. As many experts say today, that regional connectivity is the name of the game, and for us it is extremely important. Going back to the transportation issues, we could use, as I said, this route going through Afghanistan. Another option that we might have is a way through Iran. Our president visited about 1 month ago Tehran, and with the president of Iran, they launched a freight train going from Kazakhstan to Tehran via Turkmenistan. So why can't we use this link, and from Tehran we could easily deliver goods to Pakistan? So this is another option that we have. But we can also share this information about these logistics companies who are delivering goods between Kazakhstan and Pakistan on regular basis, and they can update you on the latest routes that we have in terms of delivering goods. Thank you.